Columbus in my jeans, all the way down to the seams of my soul. And my soles are so fresh and so clean. I go ham, 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 cold turkey, roast beef, smoked sausage, and everything in between. I'ma put on.
Yo, what's up, Mearabloggers? I'm back here in the Mearablog Podcast again. I got my dog P Blackk joining me, Columbus representing. What's up, P?
What's going on, G? I'm just chilling.
Good. Now, what's been good recently with P Blackk? You know, what kind of things you've been working on? Maybe music-wise, maybe just, you know, in your personal life, what's been going on?
Nothing. I would say school's been definitely taking over my life. I go to Columbus College of Art and Design. It's a private little art school, CCAD.
Right.
Now I'm on summer break, so finally I got some time to breathe and work on music as well as art. Working on a couple projects right now. My homie Fabergé, we're working on a project that I'm not going to say when we're supposed to release it, but we're working on a project called Deuce Hazard. We're like, I want to say halfway done with that. I'm working on a project, like a solo project, with Eyeball from Fly Union. He's doing all the production. I'm going to call it Black Friday. Aiming for November. I think it's safe to say that I'm aiming for November. And then working on a couple like little projects right now. So I try to keep people, you know, tied over to November.
Right. Awesome. Now, you know, you're from Columbus and you rep Columbus, obviously. How important is it to get, you know, Columbus's name out there in the hip-hop scene? And, you know, how important is it to you that, you know, you rep Columbus and get the name out there?
I think it's real important because I feel like Columbus is definitely slept on. We got a lot of talent out here, like a lot of talent, and it's just an untapped area. I feel like the Midwest in general, and definitely Ohio, we got some people, you know, I mean, I guess doing it pretty well right now, like Chip and Cuddy and Stolly and Lee and Fly Union. Making a name and helping Ohio out, but and Lee and Fly Union being from Columbus, that's really dope. So it means a lot to me to try to get Columbus's name out there. Right
now, you spit a freestyle on 107.5 a little while back, and that got you some recognition around at least the Columbus hip hop community. You know, tell me all about that, and you know, what was that all like?
I mean, it was pretty cool. I was definitely, if you watch the video, I was pretty nervous.
Yeah.
I've like been on the radio before, but it's definitely a good look. I'm glad I didn't choke. As far as the Columbus hip hop scene, I definitely just, you know, try to make it out to like as many shows as possible and like just meet a lot of people. And like I know Lee for the Uncool has definitely helped me. You know what I mean? Meet a lot of. So I want to say solidified artists in the city as far as the Columbus scene. So.
Right. Now, you seem to have a real grasp on hip-hop music, you know, the hip-hop music scene of old, and, you know, you've done some rhymes over, like, the Helter Skelter beat, you know, La Flor, La Fosse, Scotia, one of my favorite songs of all time. But, like other things about that, you know, back in the day, and I think a lot of newer artists don't really like go back to the roots of, you know, not necessarily the roots, you know, with Helter Skelter, but just like, you know, have an appreciation for the old days. You know, what kind of artists that give you inspiration, or how much does the old school kind of influence, you know, the way you do your MCing?
I definitely say it influences me a lot. I feel like that era of hip hop was based off, you know, lyrics, a lot of based off lyrics. Artists that influenced me, I mean, of course, you have your big names like Jay-Z and Nas and Tupac and Biggie. But definitely, like, there's a lot of new artists right now that's doing it, and they're pretty dope. I want to say, like, what comes to mind, I think of J. Cole. He's pretty dope. Drake is dope. That's how far I go with Drake. I think Drake is dope. Kendrick Lamar, he's ill. Lupe Fiasco. Like, I feel like I definitely have a lot of older cousins that live in New York, so they were raised off that era of hip hop. So every time I'd go and visit them, they'd, you know, I guess they would show me what's cool and what's dope.
Right, they tried to get in your ear, yeah.
Yeah, that influenced me heavily. So.
Right. Now, yeah, because it seemed like you like have an appreciation for New York, which obviously is the mecca of hip hop music. You know, wherever you're from, you know, that's where all the best have come from. You know, so basically, you know, how important is your MCing and actually, you know, your lyricism to you? You know, a lot of people, you know, will do whatever it takes to get a record deal or whatever, and obviously that's, you know, produce some homogenized music. You know, how important is it to you to be an MC, you know, represent, you know, hip-hop music?
I think it's really important. I think it's really important because that's something that's just, it's really not, it's not respected nowadays. It's taken for granted just being, you know, being a dope MC. A lot of things that was held important in the past aren't important now. But getting a record deal, that's something I don't even think of. Like, I know, I've been rapping since I was, like, I want to say 8, and, like, what comes to mind is, like, my mom, she would, she was low-key like one of those momagers that would like have me doing shows here, shows there, and it got to the point where it became like a job. It felt like a job, and it wasn't fun anymore. So as far as, you know, getting a record deal and making it into a job is something that I want to happen naturally. I'm not trying. I'm just trying to, I guess, have fun with it, and whatever good comes of it, that's, you know, that's a plus.
Right. You said you started MCing maybe around 8 years old. You know, what made you want to be an MC?
Actually, remember when I was in church, and there was this kid, well, not a kid because he's like grown now, but he was like 16 at the time, and I was 8. And I remember seeing him rap in the church, and like just the crowd, like I just remember people just really, really getting into it and liking, and I was listening to what he was saying, and like I just thought it was just really dope. And I remember when we came back home that afternoon, I wrote like on like 4 pages of notebook paper, and I came back to church next week and like rapped it off for him. But I want to say he definitely influenced me to start rapping. I'm not sure how old I was when Stillmatic came out. And I guess that definitely showing my age because it's not like Illmatic. But when Stillmatic came out, that's the first album I ever bought. And I remember listening to songs like One Mic and Rewind, and like, and at that, I don't know, I want to say maybe I was like 10 or 11 or something like that. And that like really just like, it just captivated me, and it just inspired me to just, I guess, pursue a rap career.
Now, you performed at 8 Fest in Athens, and that's actually where I go to school, is Ohio University. You know, yeah, a lot of, you know, there's a lot of crazy students there, obviously. You know, what was that whole thing like? Because I know MGK was there, people from around this region were there. So, you know, what was that all about? How did you feel in front of all those people, you know? What was that experience like?
It felt good. It felt really dope. I know I did 7 Fest last year, and it was a really good turnout, but it wasn't as big as it was this year. It was like 20,000 plus people there, 15,000, something like that. I know it was a little wild, real muddy.
Right. It does get muddy there.
Yeah, I mean, but it was a good experience. Like it was just really cool, just rocking out, you know, for 20,000 people. I was definitely nervous at first, but once I had the mic, it felt good.
Now, my last question is, you know, the hip-hop game today, it seems to be ever-changing, you know, and I've gotten that from a lot of different MCs that I've talked to, think it's changing a lot. It's kind of even gone to, you know, even more of a hip-hop sort of style, you know, not necessarily like Drake, but maybe like somebody like, you know, Odd Future, or, you know, other guys, Mac Miller, kind of like keeping it, you know, hip-hop now. You know, what do you think about, you know, that kind of style of music, you know, like kind of like a neo hip-hop, but like keeping with the lyricism and everything?
I think it's cool. I think it's good that like I know everyone says it, but it's definitely coming around, and it evolves and it changes. So I guess it's coming back to lyrics. So I think it's cool. I appreciate and I'm happy to hear something different for a change that's getting like widespread and mainstream attention.
Right. Well, P, I appreciate you coming on the Mearablog Podcast. Best of luck with you in your career. And, you know, keep on, you know, look out for Black Friday when it comes out in November, or whenever he gets it out there. And P Blackk, I appreciate it, man.
No doubt. I appreciate it.